Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of the Rocky Mountain area, I am once again here with your general manager of the Rockies, Cody Chalifoux. Cody, how you doing today?
Doing fantastic. Glad to be back on.
Glad to have you back on. We are here in August in the season. A lot has happened. This is an exciting time during the MLB season. All-Star break just happened. Trade deadline just happened. We've had ourselves some new players drafted into the franchise, but first thing we're going to talk about, mid-season prospect list just came out. Obviously, the MLB squad isn't good enough yet, so we here are forced to think about the future. Can you talk about some risers, some fallers within the organization? What prospects should our fans definitely know about for the future?
Yeah, I mean, our top two prospects, and we've been hammering home how important they are for our future. Dale Amador and Chase Dollander have exceeded expectations, especially Dollander's first year in pro ball. He's moved all the way up to AAA at this point, was absolutely shoving in AA. Amador's knocking on the door. We just kept him down at AA just because we had a lot of depth in AAA and we just wanted to give him as many at bats as possible. And AA and AAA, the difference between the talent level and pitching isn't too high. So if he's doing well in AA, I'm sure he'll be doing well at AAA. Just kind of felt like that was his place in Hartford. I think he's moved up to the number 5 prospect due to just a good season from him and some other guys graduating in front of him. So those two are definitely guys that we're not going to wait too much longer to see. I mean, especially Amador, he is forcing my hand here, trying to get that call up, which I'm sure he will eventually. Two guys that we have kind of highly within our organization, but haven't exactly wowed me so far yet. Jordan Beck and Zach Veen. I mean, those two, both right fielders, corner outfielders. Obviously, you've known our struggle in the corner outfield this season. We've already brought up Yanquiel Fernandez to try to do that, one of our top prospects ahead of those two. He kind of came out the gate firing. He got the job in left field kind of midway through this season so far. So those two neither have done really anything that super excites me. Zach Veen has been better than Beck. Beck, I mean, hitting like 200 at this point, is really struggling out in AAA where he started. Zach Veen has a leg up, but neither of those guys have been scorching the earth, which we thought they would.
All right, so it's good to hear you have the future in mind. That's definitely something we're going to be keeping an eye on as Rockies fans here. But also for the future, the draft just happened. What do you think about the players we drafted?
Yeah, I mean, I will say this, and once the Netflix episode of the draft comes out, you'll see it. It was nervous. I was nervous. It was a lot, but I think we handled it well. I think we came out with a lot of good players. Um, Bobby White, our first pick, we have a lot of potential in that young kid's, future, and I think he's going to be fantastic. We went very pitcher heavy obviously coming into the season, looking at our kind of where our prospects stand. Dollander, and that was about it. Joe Rock is a guy that we think could be a back of the rotation arm, but we didn't really have anybody in house that could really push to be a starting, very good quality starting pitcher in the 3, 2, or 1 slots of a rotation going forward. We think Dollander can get there. I think he'll probably top out as a number 2 or a very good number 3, but we didn't really have that ace uh in the organization. And I think we got some guys who, if only one of them comes out of it, he's going to be a stud. And we have about 3 or 4 starting pitchers that we drafted that were fantastic. Now, the position players we didn't really focus too heavy on, but we did get a couple. I think we had a first baseman, Tyrone Garinger, and we had a left fielder, Christian Nam, who he can move around the outfield. Garinger, more of a contact bat, Nam, more of a power guy. So we'll see how they come up through the farm system. Both of them are a little bit farther down the line, but we're excited for the future. I think the draft, that was kind of our philosophy. It was pitching, pitching, pitching. I think we went a little too much in the pitching side. I didn't really focus much on the position player side of things, but I think overall we had a very, very solid first draft. And that's the first step in this new franchise's direction.
Well, again, good to hear. Good to see that you're thinking about the future. The philosophy is very future based, very pitching based, which is, I mean, as a baseball fan for a long time, I can tell you how important pitching is come postseason. So you can never have enough pitchers, Cody. It's good to hear that that's how we're thinking. All right, so let's talk trade deadline now. What was your philosophy going into the deadline? I know what you think about the future. I know what you think about getting prospects, the guys that we've brought in. What do you think about the moves you made during the deadline? Do you think that was successful for your overall vision?
Yeah, I think overall it was very successful. Obviously, the biggest trade was trading last year's All-Star representative Elias Diaz to Cleveland. We got Ethan Hankins from them, and I love Hankins. I think he is going to play for us uh, soon. He's a guy coming from Cleveland. They have so much pitching over there that maybe okay, he wasn't going to break the rotation for them, but he definitely probably will break the rotation for us in the near future. Other than that, a lot of relievers left. I feel like, we're not competing right now. Like, obviously, the season has not gone the way that we had wanted or we had hoped. We're also realistic. We know that, okay, we are not going to hold on to this last place finish and try for a push. The writing's already on the wall for this season. So we moved a lot of relievers. We got some pretty good guys that at worst are going to be depth options for us. At best could probably be bench bats or starters for us. I think we got a pretty decent haul. So that was kind of my philosophy. Just get rid of the pieces we can. We didn't really have much to sell off. I think a lot of the players, our veterans, have some contracts that we would have to package some prospects to get off of. But overall, I think the trade deadline, it wasn't too flashy, but I think those are solid steps forward.
Agreed. It was tough to part ways with players doing so well right now, but again, common theme here on this podcast. You got to think about the future. It's not about the right now, because right now we're in a tough division. We're in last place. So you really do have to think about the future. So getting anything we can out of trades like that is important for not this year, but the years to come, the hopefully exciting years to come. All right. Don't want to take up too much more of your time. So let's talk extensions. Definitely something on our minds as it's coming up. Who do you definitely want to lock up? And is there anyone you originally weren't even questioning giving an extension to, but now you're not so sure? What are we thinking about extensions?
Yeah, I mean, not to give away too much details, we have been talking to Nolan Jones. Obviously, that's our corner. I want him in Colorado. I'm not going to uh, take that information away from you. I want him in Colorado for a long time. I think he knows that. We've had some discussions. We're looking at contracts around the major leagues. What's comparable for him? What would he like? What is he comfortable taking? So we've been talking back and forth for. We tried in spring training. We came back to that position after the trade deadline, and we've been talking a little bit. Ezekiel Tovar and Brenton Doyle are the other two that are eligible that I've kind of pinpointed as long-term guys. Those extension talks haven't, they were kind of just, hey, this is what we're thinking. And they were like, not really. There haven't been much in terms of back and forth negotiations with those guys. We kind of know what they want. They kind of know what we pin them as. But Nolan Jones, a guy that I've been on the phone with him and his agent a couple times now.
Good to hear. We like Nolan, so it'd be nice to have him around a little bit longer. But I believe that is all we have time for this episode. So I appreciate your time, Cody. Any closing remarks from you before we sign off here?
I'm excited, and I think you guys should be too. I know we talked a lot about the future on this podcast, but I'm pretty certain that in future podcasts, not too distant in the future, we're gonna be talking about the right now pretty soon.
That's what I like to hear. We'll definitely have you on some more in the future. Hopefully, things are going well out here in Colorado for you. Hopefully, you're adjusting to life well, because definitely making some moves. That's for sure. But for this episode of On the Rocks, this has been Denver Davis. See you next time.
Our first game action of the month comes via Kyle Freeland moment here as we fast forward through this game as he has a complete game shutout working here in the top of the ninth. He gets Kyron Paris to line out there, and Freeland was dealing so far here tonight. Only 80 pitches as we hit the bottom of the ninth inning. Noah Shanuel, one of the fastest call-ups ever in Major League history, was drafted and played for the Angels in the same year. One of only a few players can say they can do that. That's 2 pitches, 2 gone here for Freeland. Tony Rendon, the world's most lethargic baseball player. And let me drop this about Tony Rendon. I don't think what he said in his controversial comments are bad. It just is tough. The tough messenger, right? I think that sometimes we look at athletes and talking to athletes and working with them way closer, professional athletes, this year. It is their job. That's fair. I mean, we love baseball as fans, as people who, and most players do, just grow up loving baseball. Some are just good at it, and this happens through all sports. Some are just very good at sports, and you can make millions of dollars being good at sports. You don't have to love sports. I'm sure you're going to love this swing high into the Anaheim sky, and that's going to just curl right around the foul pole, and complete game shutout is gone for Freeland. We'll keep him out there, but Tony Two Bags makes it 4 this time. Is a guy who I thought was going to be a slam dunk. As a fan on the outside, getting him on the Angels I thought was awesome for Trout and Ohtani, and it just did not work out. Mike Trout takes the slider, so we will trot Freeland. We'll keep him out there. Again, still under 90 pitches, and just being able to get through this. Yeah, it doesn't have the complete game shutout. This one is high. This one is deep, and it's going to be right at the track, and caught. Rockies pull it off and win. So that's my Tony Rendon rant for you. That's what I feel about it. I think he's getting a little bit too much flack, but again, it is tough. The messenger is tough. Rockies end up winning, and we have a special announcement coming up soon. And the special announcement is, finally, Cal Quantrill. He's back. So we're going to decide between Ryan Rollison and Darius Vines, who we just acquired through trade. Who's going to go down? Who's going to stay up here? I think we ultimately will go with Darius Vines. We head to our first full game of the month as the Colorado Rockies and the San Diego Padres hook up, 2 National League West teams who kind of are already out of it. Rockies well out of it, almost 40 games behind 500, and the Padres not that bad, not as bad I should say, but definitely not playing to the standards that they set for themselves. Brendan Rodgers, again, our lone all-star, he's been doing really pretty nice, and the numbers don't look fantastic, a career high in home runs, but these numbers are one of the best players on our team. Nolan Jones obviously is our number 1, and then probably Ryan McMahon's having a better season, but Brendan Rodgers having a good season, and there's going to be a battle between him, Tovar, and Amador coming up to see who's going to be our middle infield for the future. Cal Quantrill getting back the first time we've seen him. We tried to watch a game of his earlier, and he ended up tweaking something pre-game and wasn't able to go. And 4.04 ERA, 0-7 on the season. He's going to get Ha-Seong Kim the line out to begin the game. Here's the lineup for the Padres. Kim, Azakar, and Machado. No Xander Bogaerts in this one. But Ethan Salas, a 17-year-old playing in Major League Baseball, he's incredible. He's going to be a problem forever. Not a problem is that fly ball for Brenton Doyle. Again, the speedy center fielder, guy that we want to keep in Colorado for quite some time. He is the perfect center fielder defensively for us, and made for this ballpark, truly. The man with 35 different pitches, Yu Darvish, 9-9 on the season, 97 strikeouts and 145.2 inning strikeout rate. Very, very down to what we're accustomed to him seeing from him. He's going to get Brendan Rodgers almost to swing there. He holds up, and the next pitch to put him away, its sinker runs inside. First base runner of the day for the Rockies. Nolan Jones wastes no time grounding into a double play started by Luis Campusano, finished off by Ha-Seong Kim, back to Campusano, and the almost Red Sox catchers. Those were some trade discussions I remember back in the day that Campusano could be going back to the Red Sox. He's going to stay in San Diego. He's going to be an issue as their full-time first baseman now that Salas is up. And here he is, Salas, into right field. Jones going all the way back on the run, making the catch right in front of the wall. Salas puts a good charge into that one. Nolan Jones there to corral it. Ryan McMahon, this one on the ground, will be the first base hit of the day for the Colorado Rockies. He takes a sinker through the right side of the infield. Sets up Yanquiel Fernandez, who hits this one into the gap in left center. This will fall, and everyone will keep running. Rounding third base and coming home with McMahon. Trying his luck is Yanquiel. Yes, he's in there. a triple for the Rockies provided by Yanquiel Fernandez, and he is the first of those 3 corner outfielders that we highlighted as our top prospects to get the call up. He was hitting so well in Triple A for us in Albuquerque, where he started, and he's the first one out of the Beck, Veen, and him trio, and he's putting in some work. Obviously, some rookie struggles, but that's a big swing off a veteran pitcher. Ezequiel Tovar in a swing at a pitch in the other's batter's box. A filthy slider, had a couple other breaking pitches that fooled him in that at bat as well. Cal Quantrill, speaking of filthy, 2-seamer right at the knees of Buckles Brad Miller, who at first detested it, but then agreed that pitch was nuts. Uppercut by the umpire there, playing a lot of Mike Tyson punch-out, I guess. Doyle down the line, and he's very late on that sinker, but puts it right in the spot where he can do damage down the line. Fair. He's going to try for third base. The throw comes in, and he's in there just ahead of the tag. The second triple in as many innings for the Rockies, and that puts a runner on third base to begin the frame. Bobby Dahlbeck fired up. Charlie Blackmon, he's fired up too as he gets an RBI opportunity, dumps it into right field for a double, and he's not going to try to keep the streak of triples going. He will very much settle for the 2-bag and the RBI. Nolan Jones opposite field with Chuck now at third base, and that's going to be just deep enough to bring the 37-year-old home after a slide past Salas. It is 3-0 Rocks here in the third. McMahon runner going. That is Bobby Dahlbeck who got on, and he'll be gunned out. Salas showing that potential behind the dish and takes out an athletic Bobby Dahlbeck. Threatening now are the Padres, and Quantrill gets a big swing from NL MVP favorite potentially, Fernando Tatis Jr., and he was all over that the first 12-6 curveball of the at-bat. Gets him with the second one, and this is a good pitch in there for strike 3 to end the side. Campusano goes down, looking 3-0 still. Rocks head to the middle of the 4th inning. Pick back up in the top of the 5th as Jackson Merrill is up. He was the left fielder, was a shortstop, obviously got blocked, and now moves to the outfield, one of the top prospects in all of baseball, and the top prospect for the Padres. He's going to double in a run, and the first time of the day the Padres enter the conversation. Stays through this one, opposite field. Those are the best hits, and look, this one just keeps rolling. Splits both outfielders right up against the wall. Marcano goes down swinging, a beautiful changeup by Quantrill. He uses kind of as a splitter, just tumbles down, gets the swing over the top for the strikeout. And in the top of the 5th, still Ha-Seong Kim, the next batter. Pops out to Fernandez, and the runner will be stranded at second base. Quantrill through 5, just 1 earned run here on that double from Jackson Merrill. Matt Cook comes in to relieve Quantrill, and he had no problem with the Padres lineup. 1, and then Machado makes 2. And then the third batter he faced, Tatis looking. 1, 2, 3 go the Padres, and a big showing by Matt Cook right there. One of our top relievers so far this season. He proved it. Jackson Merrill back up. This one to Nolan Jones. And that will end the 7th inning as we're skipping ahead as both offenses kind of go dark. And Nolan Jones providing some good, valuable defense there. And he's a guy, again, we want to keep him in Colorado for as long as we can. Robbie Snelling in now. And Charlie Blackmon in the bottom of the 8th is going to get Colorado a much-needed insurance run. And he's thinking 3 this time. And throw might have beat him, but he beat the tag. As RBI triple for Charlie Blackmon, the 3rd triple of the day for the Rockies. As again, we talk about Coors Field and how much of a home run park it is, but really what makes it so offensively friendly is that it is just so deep out there, and there's so much outfield to cover, so much in those gaps, and you see triples and doubles hit there all the time. 6-1 as another insurance run came across, I think via Bobby Dahlbeck. Daniel Bard, who only needed 2 pitches to get out of the 8th, comes back in for the 9th, and the Rockies are going to beat the San Diego Padres a score of 6-1 today. The triple with the name of the game: Yanquiel Fernandez, Brenton Doyle, and Charlie Blackmon, all important triples to get the Rockies their runs, and pretty good showing from Cal Quantrill and company. Just 5 hits on the day, and the biggest one is Jackson Merrill's double, and 3 strikeouts for Brad Miller. Darvish went 5, gave up 3, only struck out 2. Robbie Snelling had some big innings as well. 8 hits for the Rockies today, a couple doubles: Dahlbeck, Rogers, and Charlie Blackmon. Obviously the 3 triples, and Kyle Quantrill going 5. Also 4 hits, 1 earned, 5 strikeouts in his first start back off the IL. After much consideration, Zach Veen is going to get the call up to the major leagues. Brenton Doyle was dealing with some pain, kept him out for a game. And Zach Veen, you're going to get the call up here, and you're going to face the New York Yankees to start your career. Heads up, big fella. You got Garrett Cole as your first assignment. My bad. Feel bad for the kid, but also making his major league debut. Zach Veen is going to be a stud for us. He's went up to AAA after a decent AA, and I think he played fine enough. I think he's ready at this stage. It's just the process, like I said. The talent is there, and he's going to come up, and he's going to push for some starting time with the Rockies. And like I said, he does not have an easy assignment. It's Garrett Cole. Probably right now you can tag him as the best pitcher. Missed a couple months to begin the season, but has come back in 13 starts and has been Garrett Cole. Nolan Jones introduces himself to Mr. Cole, and this one was hit on a line. Absolutely smashed. Nolan Jones goes yard in the Little League park that is Yankee Stadium. 110 off the bat. Seemed like it was faster. Again, took no time getting out. This one just stayed on a line. Launch angles probably like 16 degrees, and it just got right out of there. Ryan Feltner will be the man to try to stop this Yankees lineup as he comes in with a 1-0 lead to begin the day. He'll face Alex Verdugo, Red Sox legend. That's going to hit right off of Feltner's back. Coming out to play is Drew Romo. Safe at first base is Verdugo. Make sure Feltner's all right. But Bud Black, he's going to put his hand up and say, wait 1 second. As here's the replay. It looks like they do get him. Dahlbeck, a nice stretch. And another replay. That one kind of makes it seem a little bit closer than it was. That first one seemed pretty on point. And the play will be overturned. Out is the call. And Aaron Boone, savage in the box. Juan Soto, dribbler up front. Still hurts my heart that Juan Soto is a New York Yankee. And that will do it for the first 1-0. Nolan Jones only one to get on base in that entire inning. Top 2, Ryan McMahon is going to lead us off. And take a slider well inside and just bump it right off of that outfield wall. Again, just such a stupid ballpark. And we are playing the biggest ballpark in America every game, and we have to come and play here. Zach Veen's first at-bat after McMahon extends his hitting streak. 212 games, gets a superstar call there. Nothing, that knuckle curve was the filthiest pitch I think I've seen all year, and Veen takes it for a ball apparently, takes that one for a ball definitely, and that is going to be the first plate appearance for Zach Veen. Drew Romo 1-2 count. Fuck you fastball by Garrett Cole blows right by him, and they will leave the runner stranded. Still 1-0. Top 3 now. Charlie Blackmon gets a hold of this one. Goated, sauce included. Charlie Blackmon, another long ball, and he seems to hit a couple every time we tone it. He loves the cameras. He loves the Netflix cameras. He really does. And it's 2-0 Rocks here in the Bronx. Nolan Jones, his second time after taking cold deep the first time, gets a hold of this knuckle curve, and this will touch down. Aaron Judge, who probably makes that catch if he's 6'11", sucks to suck. And 2 runners on now for the Rockies, both in scoring position, is Garrett Cole, not looking very Garrett Cole-esque. 24th double by Nolan Jones this season. He hit this one straight away center field and right past the leaping arm of Aaron Judge. Bobby Dahlbeck, who has a lot of experience playing in this ballpark, doesn't quite go yard here, but deep enough to score the runner and also move Jones up to third base. Next batter be Ryan McMahon, who just extended his hitting streak and will start now a streak of RBIs here as another ball out to right field and another run comes across from the Rockies. It is 4-0 Colorado. Aaron Judge, bottom 4. Oof. Bean won't even have to move on this one. He does so out of courtesy, and that one, 430 plus, I would say. Where do they have this one at? 450. And Aaron Judge absolutely blasts this one. Crazy, crazy. And seeing that one up close and personal, it's interesting. Roderick Arias, one of the top prospects of the Yankees, playing third base. We hit it to the 5th inning. He's going to go opposite field, and he's going to go over the wall, and he's going to tie up this ball game. I'm sure the Yankees fans are excited seeing a young third baseman wearing number 13 hitting home runs like they used to back in the day. As Arias might not be Alex Rodriguez, but he is pretty good. And he shows it right there. Ties this ball game up at 4 and a whole new ball game here in the Bronx. Alex Verdugo, bottom 5 later on in this inning. McMahon over to Rogers, who flips and fires to Dahlbeck, and that will be an inning-ending 5-4-3 double play around the horn. But again, Arias ties this ball game up as we head to the latter third. McMahon's going to put a bunt down here in the 6th inning, and they'll get the runner at second base. It aren't quick enough to turn 2, but runners on the corners now. Just a 1 out. Top of the 8th inning, and Yanquiel Fernandez goes to left field, and Yanquiel powers it over the wall, opposite field, lefty crime, and a defining moment for the young left fielder. His second career home run is a big one. The boys are fired up. Got the lettuce flying everywhere. And Yanquiel Fernandez makes his presence known in this one. Takes the lead late here in the 8th inning. Absolutely incredible. Right here, takes that pitch low, drives it, stays with it, hooks right around that foul pole, and big lead. Zach Bean, next man up, 0-2 count as the Yankees change pitchers, and this is going to dump down for the first career hit for Zach. So congratulations to Zach and the Bean family, as you, sir, have your first Major League knock. Bottom of the inning now as Lucas Gilbreth is in. And another quick turn by the Rockies defense. McMahon starts that one off again. And look at this throw by him. He's going to come in, get right behind. He's kind of behind the bag, has to throw across his body to get it there. Verdugo goes down on the filthy pitch by Gilbreth. 7-4 as we head to the 9th inning. Nolan Jones up with a runner on first base. Ron Marinaccio, and why not one more for good measure? Nolan Jones owning Yankee Stadium. This one not quite second deck, but almost there. And a great insurance hit, and why not just pummel these Yankees I'm sure they love it. I know I love it. Yankees suck. Nolan Jones does not. Austin Wells the last chance, and Gilbreth gets in a pop-up to his catcher counterpart, and that's going to do it. The afternoon here in Yankee Stadium was a fun one for the Rockies. They win both games that we're going to show here today. Well, technically all three if you add the Freeland moment against the Angels earlier on in the episode. And that will do it here from Yankee Stadium. A fantastic show, and Nolan Jones, superhuman. Nolan Jones, 5 for 5, 3 RBI, a double, and a couple of home runs. I believe he also stole a base in this one. I mean, he is absolutely incredible. He's a guy who's going to be a perennial 2020 guy, maybe 2030 as well. Feltner did all right, and the bullpen came out and shut things down. Home run by Judge, home run by Arias, and that was all they had. Scott Efros came in and shut us down for 2 innings, but the other pitchers, we got to them pretty decently. One thing we're going to do after that Yankees game is we're going to move Nolan Jones to third base. We're going to move Ryan McMahon to first base, and we're going to kick Bobby Dahlbeck out of the starting lineup. He has not done what I thought he could do. This also opens up Zach Bean the chance to play every day, and I think this also maximizes our lineup. And you see, we're going to move it around a little bit. We're going to tinker around with it, and we're going to tinker around with it more towards the end of today. But that's the move. Nolan Jones is going to be our third baseman of the future. This kind of makes McMahon expendable. I think he's a good player, but I don't know. I don't really see him in this long term. This also opens up that outfield, like I said, for our big three, plus Montgomery, plus whoever else we bring in. It's time for September call-ups. Victor Vodnik's going to get the pitching call-up, and it is time. The player you've all been waiting for, been clamoring for all season, Adael Amador, is now officially a Colorado Rocky.
Our savior!
We will see his debut next episode. I am so excited as we come into this one, as we end things off here. We're just going to take a quick look at the standings around Major League Baseball. The Dodgers are fully ahead. The Diamondbacks are holding on. Padres, Giants, and us, we're kind of out of it at the moment. The National League East is still a dogfight between the Braves and the Phillies. No one else really catching on. The Cubs and the Reds having a pretty solid start in the end to the National League Central's season, as they're still in it. And then again, the Dodgers are just way ahead of everybody else. Wild card looks like this: Braves, Reds, Diamondbacks, the Mets, and the Cardinals holding out hope. But those are two 500 teams, so they need a big September to get in. American League East, it is the Orioles, the Yankees right behind them, the Rays right behind them, with the Red Sox and Blue Jays just out of it completely. They'll be looking on to 2025. Central has the Twins, and that's about it. The Royals kind of fell off, so it's going to be the Twins representing the Central, with the Astros 8 games ahead of the Rangers, or 6 games ahead of the Rangers, and 7 above the Mariners. So that will do it here. Well, no, wild card, excuse me. We have the Rangers, we have the Yankees, we have the Mariners, the Rays right behind them. So that would do it here. Adael Amador, next episode. Get ready as we head into the final stretch of 2020.